Hello everyone, this is part 36 of What If Naruto Figured It All Out, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Most of Konoha's inhabitants were in the hospital or in the morgue. All the medical ninjas were healing the survivors of Kyuubi's attack. The ambient was chaotic, so many people running and healing the ones on the beds quickly, so they could go and heal the others. On a room of the hospital, the ninjas laid down their fallen Hokage. They were so moved they couldn't hold their tears, crying. Tsunade put her hands on Minato trying to check his condition, besides knowing he was S. She bit her lip. Did you hold up all this pain? Tsunade said. What? Jiraiya asked. He continued trembling, very shocked with his student's death and touched with his courage and bravery. Tsunade hadn't the courage to tell him. Surin put her hand on Minato's body. Well, one blind eye, a shoulder completely destroyed, several scratches all over his body and all the bones from his limbs were turned into dust. Isuki said. All looked shocked to her. What? You wanted to know? Pardon me, but, who are you? Sandaime asked. You arrived right in the last moment. I'm Minamoto Surin, a Valkyrie from the Hidden Moon. Yondaime Hokage asked me to come and check on Fuller Heim. She said. Sorry arriving so late. I was delayed. Now everything is solved, but, Sandaime looked at his arms, where Naruto was calmly sleeping. This baby, could you check him, Tsunade? The medical nin hesitated, looking at the whiskers painted on Naruto's face and remembering Kyuubi once. All the terrifying memories of the fight came back at her mind, making her shiver. Tsunade. She put her hands on Naruto's belly. He is fine, she said, trembling. Sandaime noticed. We need to look over the ones on the hospital. The third said. Surin-san, you're also a medical ninja, could you help us? No problem, she said, leaving with Tsunade. Sandaime looked at Jiraiya, seeing he continued unbelieving his student was S. You also need medical assistance. Go to the hospital, Sandaime advised, but Jiraiya continued looking at Yondaime, right about to cry. Please, he insisted, putting his hand on the hermit's shoulder. Jiraiya lowered his head and left. Sandaime looked again at Minato and then at Naruto. Is he your child, Yondaime? He remembered Tsunade's reaction. Is it going to be okay? Why did they avoid looking at Naruto? Even Jiraiya did that. Really far from there, in a place where peace ruled had the fields were green, Kurogen was waiting for someone within the golden gates of heaven. A white-haired kid with soft purple skin and red horns appeared. He was dressing very detailed and rich white clothes. The kid had a red string of beads on his arm. Kurogen saw him and ran. Section Death God Lord. Section Kurogen asked. The kid looked back and smiled, hugging Kurogen. Kurogen, the kid said, rubbing his face on his. Oh, you continue as cute as always. Do you need something? Wanna have tea with me? Kurogen smiled. Well, it was true, every god appeared to love him. Section I need a big favor of yours, Death God Lord. Section Kurogen said. What? He asked. Kurogen closed his eyes. Section I want to speak with Minato before you take him. Section Kurogen said. The death god smiled. Sure. The kid made some hand seals and the Yin Kyuubi and Minato's souls appeared. The two were attached by a string of beads. Sure, it was a big day of work, a great duke and heir from the Koryu lineage. You can speak with him, but his soul is very tired. Kurogen held Minato on his arms. The Hokage was dressing a white man kimono that looked great on him. Section Minato. Open your eyes. Section Kurogen called. Minato had a warm sensation, as if he was being hugged by someone who could calm him down. The Hokage hugged his ancestor. Section I've made it. Section Minato whispered. Section I've saved Konoha. Section there was a smile. Section who are you? Your body, this sensation, it makes me remember my father. Section Kurogen looked at him. Section I'm your ancestor. Koryu Kurogen. Section Minato's eyes opened wide. Everything started to make sense. Section once Frigg was K, Kyuubi appeared to Ku. Section but, he attacked Konoha. Section Minato stared Kurogen in the eyes. noticing he was just like the one in the painting. Section sir, it was all my, section. Section number. And Uchiha followed Skuld and ordered Kyuubi to attack Konoha. Kyuubi would never attack Konoha, he would go right after you and you were far from the village. Section Kurogen explained. Minato looked down, unbelieving it. Section and now. Section Minato asked. Section my baby. My child. He is alone. I'm not there for him. Section Kurogen looked at the death god. Section take me instead of Minato. Section Kurogen proposed. The god was caught by surprise. Section I don't want to see a heir of mine painting for eternity. Take me. Section the kid started thinking. Minato blushed while looking at Kurogen. This was the man who accepted taking care of Skuld. Koryu Kurogen, the hero of the hidden moon, I'm his long-lost heir, and he is his place on heaven, Minato thought and noticed something. Section wait. What do you mean with eternity of pain? Section Minato asked. The death god smiled. You gave your soul to me. It's true that I'm one of the two gods looking over your family, but I sealed Kyuubi as you asked, now your soul will be mine for eternity. The god explained. Minato's eyes opened wide. But, having Kurogen all for me, the god smiled cutely. All the gods will be jealous of me. Cute Kurogen with me for eternity. Cool. Section then you accept. Section Kurogen asked. The god was about to answer. Wait, death god lord. Another voice said. A long black-haired woman dressing a luxurious kimono filled with accessories and wearing a beautiful makeup appeared. Kurogen's soul shall not end up paining. It's thanks to him that Skuld is being purified on earth. No hero of the gods shall meet that end. Section but, goddess Amaterasu-sama. Shall Minato, who also his life to save an entire village, meet an end like that? Section Kurogen argued. Minato looked down. Amaterasu looked at him and then at Minato. He was the one who called the death god. It's true he saved an entire village, but I must remember you, he was the one who KU. Amaterasu said. Minato looked at Kurogen. I will not allow you to exchange your soul for Minato's. The Hokage must suffer the consequences of his actions. Plus, he sealed a great duke, which by case, was one of the two demons protecting your family. Kyuubi ate the bee of your heirs, so no human could get it. Your clan is now shorter in one protector. Section he is an hero, just like me, please, let him stay. Section Kurogen insisted. Section she is right. Section Minato said. Kurogen looked at him. Section I sold my soul to save Konoha. As long as my village is safe, I'll be alright. Section the Hokage smiled, getting up. Section a hero is the one who accepts his fate after his heroic actions, even if isn't a good fate. Section Kurogen looked down. Section you really don't have any idea of what's waiting for you. Section Kurogen said. Section if you go, you'll never come back again, you'll see no other, nothing else, you'll be alone, forever, Section. Section'll go, Section. Well, you're going to see Kyuubi. The death god said. He is the only thing you're going to see for the rest of eternity. Sure Konoha must be priceless for you, to deserve all this Minato smiled. Section my child lives in there, just like my friends and the ones I swore to protect. Sure. Konoha worth this Section Minato said proudly. Section you're not going to see Kushina again, Section Kurogen remembered him. Minato's eyes opened wide and looked down. Section does she deserve to be waiting for you for the rest of the eternity? Section Kurogen touched Minato's weak point. Yondaime had no chance to say bye to his lover or even to thank her for bringing Naruto into life, but Section I have to go, say to her that I'm sorry, that I love her and that I'm thankful for the child she gave to me. Section Minato remembered Kushina's smile and his heart pained. Section sorry, Section. Well, I have a tea party with Anubis and Quetzalcoatl, so, could you decide who is coming? The death god asked. Minato smiled to Kurogen and kneeled before the god. Bye. The death god grabbed Minato and Kyuubi, pulling him up inside his body. The two pained again. Section don't worry, Minato. Even if I have to reborn, I'm going to take you out of there. I promise you that. Section Kurogen swore. The death god disappeared. Section I hope you and your brother are glad, now that you've doomed a hero. Section Amaterasu looked at him. Skuld has to come back to the world of the gods, of course that, without her, no god can foresee beyond. Kurogen-chan, Minato chose that way. There are things, not even a hero can avoid, an unworthy end is one of them. Amaterasu vanished. Kurogen looked down, binding his hands. In Konoha's hospital, everybody was receiving aid. The families from the ones who survived were there with them. The ones with graver injuries were aided first, thanking Minato for saving them. But the Hokage was no longer there to listen. Tsunade was healing Jiraiya. The frog hermit appeared to have his mind somewhere else. The medical ninja noticed he was about to cry and held his hand, making him come back into the room. Minato saved us all. Try to think Konoha lives thanks to him. She cheered him up, but it didn't work. The man continued very sad. I know, telling you to put this behind your back is cruel and impossible, but... Minato, Jiraiya held Tsunade's hand. He was the child I never had. Such a great kid, you saw it, none of us could help him, not even I, he suffered all alone, Minato, he always wanted to. Jiraiya leaned his head on Tsunade's sea, hiding his tears and cries. She hugged him, knowing he was paining like no other. After all, Jiraiya was the one closer to Minato in Konoha. On the other side of the corridor was Isuki healing Shikaku. For the first time in her life she felt something she never felt before, jealousy. She was so angry seeing Jiraiya with another woman that she hurt her patient. Ouch! Shikaku screamed. You hurt me. She answered with a bad look. If I wanted to I would have asked Kyubi. Wuss, Isuki said. Aren't you a medical ninja? Why are you hurting him? Yoshino asked, with baby Shikamaru on her arms. Your baby maker is fine. He just needs some rest, Surin said and looked again at Jiraiya. But you burned my leg. Shikaku remembered. She wrote something on her paper and placed it on his bedside table. What's that? I can't understand that language. Do you know what that means? Surin asked, making the Nara family look at her. That when they'll need someone to see if you're fine, they will have to call me again. Surin passed to the next bad, under the gazes of Yoshino. So, what's hurting you? My heart, Chum answered. Surin stared her, putting her hands on her body. Mommy. A small girl with brown hair entered with a baby on her arms. Mommy, you're okay. The girl was very happy, seeing her mother alive. Chum picked the baby. I was so scared. Those tails on the air and those noises, they were scary. She caressed her daughter's face. Don't worry, Hannah. That monster will never come again. Yondaime saved us all. Chum said. Hannah looked at her. But, you always hated him because he hated our dogs. Hannah said. She sadly smiled, looking at her baby. And Daddy. Chum closed her eyes. Girl, your mother needs to rest. Can you take your brother and stay quiet? Surin gently asked. Hannah picked baby Kiba and continued looking at her mother, who cried. Surin stared her and then noticed something. No way, Dario. She whispered. Chum looked at her, while the moon ninja went near Jiraiya. Oi, Wart man. Where is your Hokage? Tsunade had no idea how Surin came out with that name, but she looked at Jiraiya, who rose his head and stared the red-haired woman. Answer me. Can't you see he is not fine? Tsunade argued. He will be worst if he doesn't answer. She said. My cute little brother is heading Konoha. He seems to be in a rage. Knowing him as I know, he will blow everything on his path. I need you. Jiraiya looked down and got up. He will try to find Yondaime. Take me there. The hermit left the hospital, followed by Surin. Tsunade stared them. Sandaime was with Naruto on his arms, while Yondaime's body continued laid down on a bed, now B. The Hokage looked at the baby, who continued sleeping, and smiled. Thanks to you, Konoha is safe. I will never forget that. Sandaime said, Naruto's forehead. There was a knock on the door and Jiraiya and Surin entered. The old man stared them. Jiraiya looked again at Minato's body, feeling his heart paining. What happened? Jiraiya asked. I remember Yondaime left the Hokage's building when Kakashi called him. But he has been worried since some days ago. And now this. There is no time to cry. Surin said. Jiraiya and Sandaime looked to her. If the other villages realize Konoha has been attacked, they will try to invade. You need to rebuild everything the fast as possible and find a fifth Hokage. Jiraiya looked at Sarutobi, sure that now, with Minato's death, it was up to the former Hokage to choose a new one. But, would there be any candidate worthy of inherit Minato's place? Naruto woke up and started crying. That's not so easy. The old Sarutobi said. The number of losers is uncountable. We can't simple rebuild that fast. Naruto continued crying. Sandaime turned his face to him and lulled him a bit, but the baby continued. Jiraiya avoided looking at the him, which was noticed by the medical nin. That baby's hungry, Surin said. Sarutobi looked at her. Where's his mother? The third looked to Jiraiya. Surin followed him with the eyes. I don't know, Jiraiya said. Surin eyed up at Naruto. Where was Yondaime when Kyuubi appeared? Surin asked. Jiraiya closed his eyes. The memories of that awful fight continued very vivid on his head, and the image of Kyuubi red eyes, evil smile and whisked face tormented him. Kakashi came and called him because of his wife. Yondaime ran and I only saw him again when we met, minutes ago. Jiraiya explained. Surin took Naruto out of Sandaime's arms. She caressed his face. Naruto looked to her and smiled. Have you come alone? The third asked. No. Ryokugen went after. They heard an ignition noise and some screams. A 22 years old, ginger hair and green-eyed man appeared. He was wearing a big Japanese hat that had, Suki, wrote on it in the Tsukikage's uniform. He had someone on his arms, involved in a white mantle. It appeared to be a blonde young woman. Who are you? The third asked. The man sent him an angry look. Jiraiya recognized him, such as the woman on his arms. He remembered Minato saying that someone important to him had and that was the reason of his delay. Now it all fixed, it was Frigg. Ryokugen, what happened? His sister asked, without even looking to him. She is. Jiraiya got shocked when he looked to the face of the woman in Akatsuki's arms, filled with and tears. The Tsukikage sent him an even angrier look. 4 wolves appeared behind the cage and attacked Jiraiya. 2 held his hands, while the other 2 grabbed his legs. Sandaime was caught by surprise. Surin didn't move, but sure she was surprised with her brother's reaction. Akatsuki, you bastard. Is this the payment I get for trusting in Konoha? Akatsuki screamed. Jiraiya and the third looked at him. Is it? Akatsuki was holding Frigg tightly on his arms. I trusted her to Yondaime, hoping she could be safe in here, and what do I see when I reach this disgusting place? She's Sandaime looked down, thinking, Minato, did you see your wife and even with all that sorrow in your heart, you came and fought Kyuubi? You really are strong. The Hokage stared Ryokugen without any fear. Konoha suffered a lot this night. Let's not argue. The third said. Akatsuki was so pissed out he didn't care. Konoha, 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 Konoha. Akatsuki spit it out. Jiraiya and the third felt insulted. Konoha and everybody within it. Ryokugen remembered Mirai, his beloved and only daughter was far from him, all, because of Konoha, I left my daughter alone in home, at the mercy of an angel who will enter her body and make her pain for the rest of her life. Because of Konoha, she does not have me at her side, now she needs me the most. Can you imagine it, Konoha? Akatsuki was getting angrier and didn't let Sandaime speak. A 6-year-old child all alone in a moment like this. Where is Konoha now? Where was Konoha when this woman was paining and in your lands? Where was Konoha when Yondaime Did anybody come to help him? Konoha. Konoha has done the best it could to protect Yondaime and the Wall of Fire won. Sandaime defended his beloved village at full strength. It's thanks to Konoha that Yondaime had time to come out with Shiki Fujin and sealed Kyuubi. You can't responsible Konoha for the death. Yondaime her. He took her away from me, the one who should. Akatsuki continued irately screaming. The woman he loved and swore to protect was there, on his arms. His beloved Frigg. Konoha did nothing to stop it. You two knew who she was and did nothing to stop that nonsense. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Your cage her. This is an insult to the hidden moon. I'll personally everybody in this cursed place and everybody who ever speaks about a village called Konoha and a so what Wall of Fire. Akatsuki threatened. Surin couldn't believe on her brother's words. Don't be hasty. You're exaggerating. She screamed. Shut up. I'm your Tsukikage. You have to hear me and lower your ears. Akatsuki screamed even louder. Surin closed her eyes. Naruto started crying again. Akatsuki looked to him. Naruto continued crying. He resembled Minato in all the traces of his face. Jiraiya noticed he became sad. His breath increased, while remembering all the good and bad moments he passed with Minato. Akatsuki held the woman even tighter, looking at her. She had tears on her eyes. Then he looked to Yondaime, who also had his eyes and face filled with tears. Flash, you stupid, you should have called me earlier, I would help, you stupid. How old is he? Sandaime whispered to Jiraiya. He's 22. Jiraiya whispered. He's very young. Sandaime said, feeling sorry for the Tsukikage. He remembered when Minato spoke about him. They were friends. True, they made each other pain, but in their hearts, they never stopped being friends. Besides his sister near him, Yondaime and the twins were the only ones Akatsuki could consider friends and trust. Jiraiya explained. The wolves left him and went near the Tsukikage, licking him and rubbing their body on his. He must be feeling really bad now. Surin said nothing and not even looked to her brother, because doing that would make him feel even worse. Akatsuki looked to Yondaime and went near him. You must have her, but she will rest forever at my side. The Hokage realized his intentions. Please, Tsukikage Dono, let her stay and be buried here, at Yondaime's side. Sandaime asked. Let's negotiate then, Akatsuki said. Sarutobi and Jiraiya looked to him. You, Konoha, let my wife and my daughter is now paining because of that. You're weak. Your powers have decreased a lot this night. You have no way to encounter an attack from my village. Surin looked at him. So, you have no other choice, but to give her to me. Unless, of course, you want your people to and Yellow Flash's to be in vain. Minato loved Kushina and Konoha. So, as a hero of ours, he should be buried in the land he loved, next to the woman he loved. Sandaime answered. We are not going to do that to our hero. The Hokage stared his companion. For us, as forward, we are going to make his death better, by leaving him next to his lover for the rest of eternity. That's all very pretty, but I'm not here to talk about funerals or eternity. I'm here to take Frigg's body with me. Negotiating something different is completely out of the question. Akatsuki said. My mission is to protect the Skuld's lineage, so, I'm going to take her and bury her in her proper place. Her place is at Minato's side. Jiraiya screamed. Come on. He was your friend. Just today. Can't you make that for him? Friends, business aside. Akatsuki said. Jiraiya was getting angrier. My business is to take Frigg to the hidden moon. Do with Minato's body what you want to, but Frigg will go with me. Her family will also came for her. Deny me her, and you'll be next to Minato right away. Konoha, sure its flame is weak now, but it still burns, Sandaime said. Plus, Tsukikage Dono, we have no proof that you will come and attack us. Akatsuki looked at him. You see, Naruto is Minato's baby, but also Frigg's, that means, he has to be of your village. Would you one of yours? If he is in Konoha, then he belongs to Konoha and he should be treated as Konoha. Akatsuki said. Jiraiya remembered Minato saying that sentence. So, if you won't hurt Naruto, you won't hurt Konoha. Is that what you're trying to say? Sandaime understood the sentence in his village's prophet. Akatsuki noticed and smiled. So, the old foxes are really the ones who can get the best hunt. Akatsuki said. Well, I'm taking Frigg and as I told you before, I'm not going to negotiate that. But, being Naruto the child of my beloved princess, I will not hurt his village, as long as he is living within it. Sandaime stared him. I can see everything my sister can. Surin looked at him. For how long are you going to keep Naruto, Konoha? Akatsuki had an evil smile on his face. Jiraiya. The Sennin looked at him. So, let's sign a non-aggression pact, where you guarantee nor you or your village are going to attack Konoha and we will let you take Frigg, Sandaime said and looked at Yondaime. Sorry, but it looks she is not going to be with you in Earth, she has to go, for your child's sake. Akatsuki smiled. Sandaime closed his eyes. This Tsukikage, how ruthless. Okay. He left. Surin looked at him and then to Naruto. Well, this little pink thing needs to eat. Got to find some milk. Surin left and went to the nursery, asking for some milk. She warmed up the milk and put it on a feeding bottle and gave it to the baby, but Naruto vomited right after drinking it. Oh, don't tell me, she put her hand on his stomach, while the baby cried. Only human milk, Naruto looked at her. What? Do you want me to find a milk mother? Naruto was about to cry, but she put a dummy on his mouth. Okay. Surin went back to the room where everybody was receiving aid. When they saw Naruto on her hands, they all shivered. So, that's the baby. One said. Look, he has the whiskers just like the monster. He must be a monster too. Surin went near Shikaku again, who hid under his blankets when he spotted her. Yoshino looked at Naruto, hiding Shikamaru. Oi, arguing B, this baby needs to get feed. Can you borrow him some of your milk? Surin asked. Yoshino turned her face away, disgusted. Sorry, I don't feed monsters. She answered. Pardon me. I'm not going to feed a monster. Look at him. Yoshino said. Surin did as she said. Okay, he is crying, but that's because he is hungry. Now, the milk. Surin insisted. Shikaku looked at his wife. Do you know who this baby is? You're alive because of him. I'm not. Just go away and take that awful monster with you. Yoshino cried. B. Surin left them and went near Chum, who was sleeping. The medical ninja covered her nose until she woke up startled. Do you mind feeding this baby? Chum looked at Naruto and turned her face aside. Hell yeah. Take that thing away from me. She said and laid down again. What's wrong with you? Surin screamed, after trying all the women with milk on their B. Aren't you glad Yondaime saved your lives? Do you hate him that much at the point of letting the one he wanted you to see as a hero starve to death? Do you? Great friends Yondaime had. Surin left, while all looked down. What did she want? Chum asked. That kid is the spitted face of Kyubi. No, he is the Kyubi. Feeding him would make me feel as if I was feeding the one who came my husband. Sure, Yoshino said. Tsunade looked down. She knew everybody was wrong, but Naruto had no fault, he was just a baby. Surin went near Sandaime, who looked at her, while Naruto continued crying. What's wrong with him? Weren't you going to find him some milk? Sandaime asked. Surin looked down. Your people project Kyubi's image and all the hatred within their hearts into Naruto. Surin said. Sandaime sadly sighed. I noticed it too, Sandaime confessed. I tried to convince myself that was just their first impression, but no, they really hate him, Naruto, the child of the man who saved them. How cruel. You seem not to do the same. Surin said. I didn't fight Kyubi, so, I haven't saw his whiskered face. Sandaime caressed Naruto, trying to calm him down. I'm so sorry, Minato. Not even your friends, not even Surin-san, we haven't saw Kyubi, maybe that's why, we don't hate Naruto. Where am I going to find him milk, if none wants to give it to me? Surin said. I must remember about our pact. If Naruto I'll try to speak with someone. Sandaime said. You're too busy, Naruto will before that. I'll try again. Surin left and went again to the hospital, but there was no positive answer. The women from Konoha refused nursing Naruto, calling the poor baby things more horrible than monster. In the morning, Naruto continued crying, starving. Sandaime tried to calm him down, but the baby wanted his mother irreplaceable milk. Dad, I can't sleep. Asuma said, sending a bad look at Naruto. Can't you calm him down? Sorry, child, but as long as no one feeds Naruto, he will continue crying. Sandaime said. Asuma left with his pillow on his hands. Why do they do this? Kakashi and Rin had just arrived Konoha, finding everything destroyed and receiving the news of their sensei's death, making the poor children pain and cry. Akatsuki and his sister were in an inn, having breakfast. Surin was revolted with the village's attitude towards Naruto. Come on, he is the child of their hero. How can they do that? She complained. You're becoming sensitive, cute older sister. Doryokugan noticed. She blushed and looked aside, saying he was missing the point. He laughed quietly. Flash's funeral is this afternoon. They decided to bury him before they started rebuilding the village. Surin looked at him. Sandaime Dono invited us. Akatsuki lowered his eyes. Poor Flash. His life for this village and they don't give a f about his child. I hate this place. Surin looked at her meal and felt sick. Have you talked with Jiraiya? Why should I talk with him? She asked, while her brother was getting up. You shouldn't be making that question. Get your stuff ready, we're leaving as soon as night falls. I'm worried with Mirai, he said, feeling his heart paining. I read that becoming a skald is very painful, Mirai. The two moon ninjas went to the Hokage's building. Sandaime had laid Naruto on the bed his mother bought for him, and in the middle of all those soft toys Minato brought with all the love he carried towards his baby. Have you find a milk, mother? Doryokugan asked. Sandaime looked down. Someone to look over him. The Hokage moved his head, signing negative. F bastards. Surin insulted. Naruto is a Jinchuriki, Akatsuki said. Sarutobi looked at him and then to the photo of Minato and Frigg in the bedroom's desk. If it was hard for Amaterasu and Tsukiyomi to find someone to look over Skuld, who was an angel, I guess I can imagine how hard it is going to be for you to find someone to look over him, who has a demon inside his body. Minato said he wanted the people to see Naruto as a hero. I'm sad, none appeared to have heard his words. Sandaime confessed and caressed Naruto's face. This baby already is a hero. Living only for a day and none wanting him, none to look over him. I have my own children and the entire Konoha to look over, but I'll try my best to. Don't try to tell us you will have time. Surin said. When my brother was born I had to take a break for more than 2 years. You can only look over that baby if you find out another Hokage. There is none with Minato's capacities and heart like his to inherit my will of fire. Sandaime cried. Everyone is irreplaceable, Akatsuki said. Even after your death, there is never going to be an Hokage like you. Naruto started crying again. His voice was already weak from crying all night long. I'm sorry, but I have to leave your village today. Unlike Konoha, I care about children who were left alone. Don't misjudge Konoha, Tsukikage Dono. Sarutobi asked, holding Naruto on his arms. They are wounded and sad. Last night was a nightmare that made them wake up from the wrong side of the bed. Tomorrow is another day. Give me the baby, Surin asked and picked Naruto. She took a feeding bottle from her cloak and started feeding Naruto, who drank all the milk right away. The cages looked dumbfounded at her. What? Naruto cried for more and she took another milk bottle and feed him again. After his meal, Surin made Naruto belched and then he fell asleep peacefully. Thank you, Sarutobi said, holding Naruto again. Where have you found the milk? She looked down. You took it from Frigg, didn't you? Akatsuki asked. She closed her eyes. You really are becoming sensitive. In the afternoon, Minato's body was in the roof of the Hokage's building. He was wearing a black cloak and had a white flower on his hands, along with his headband. The medical corps did a great job cleaning his body. He really looked healthy, peacefully laying on his coffin. There was nobody on the roof yet, but Sandaime appeared with Naruto on his arms. See, Naruto, that's your father. Sure, he is a father you can feel proud of, Sarutobi said. Sensei, Jiraiya went near him, while the Hokage stared him. Minato, I hope you have found peace. Tears fell from his eyes. I never thought a man with such an ugly wart would cry like that. Surin and Doryokugan appeared. Jiraiya looked at her and then down. If you loved Minato that much, why don't you look over Naruto? Jiraiya stared her again. I wasn't tailed to be a father, I would suck at taking care of him. The Sennin confessed, making Surin's eyes open wide. I'm not like Kageru, I can't take care of someone who is responsible from the death of the ones I loved. Even knowing Naruto is innocent, I can't stop thinking about Kyuubi when I look at him, maybe I'll be able to be with him, sometime. Wuss, Surin said. Sure Minato would be proud of his sensei if he heard you saying that. Jiraiya cried. You're good for nothing, she turned her back at them and went away. Akatsuki looked at Minato's body and smiled. You bastard, you really became a hero. I don't know why, but I can't stop thinking about the great King Kurogen when I look at you. The sky will cry for you, Konoha's yellow flash. Akatsuki started making hand seals. World's tribute to Balder. Rain of tears. The skies got covered with clouds and it started raining, but nothing would stop Konoha from saying its last goodbye to its hero. The shinobis were all aligned, dressing in black. Shikaku was looking at Minato's body and looked at his wife, hugging her. Thank you, Minato. Thanks to you, we are alive. Tears fell. I can live with my family in peace, without fearing anything, all thanks to you. Goodbye my dear friend. Few were the ones who could hold their tears. Hiashi looked to his pregnant wife at his side and then back at Minato. You have changed so many things within and outside our village in such a short period, Hiashi smiled. None will ever forget you, Namikaze Minato. Jiraiya cleaned his tears discreetly. Surin looked at him. Minato, you were the greatest person I've ever met. Jiraiya remembered when Minato became his student. Such a great heart, can you imagine, sensei? Can you imagine being a hero? Being a real hero. People would remember you for something good and great you've done. Something so beyond the level of a human. Being praised for something so good that you would be remembered for generations. Something so good and great that would make the ones you've saved see you as a god. It must be a feeling, now you know how it looks like, you're a hero, Minato. Can you hear us praising you? Ah, Minato, I'm so proud of you, Surin closed her eyes. I still remember the 3-year-old baby who came to Konoha in Nakamura Kajiru's arms. Without no family, those two became more closer than anyone. Sandaime said. They've grown up together, sharing their happy and sad moments. Minato learned how to be fond and strict and was able to endure all the bad moments life had reserved to him. He always wanted to have a big family and Konoha fulfilled his desire, becoming his own family. All by himself, he changed from the little baby to the great Yondaime Hokage and further, he became a hero. I'm sure, your ancestors are proud of you, just like your family, the one US to protect. I bow down before you, Namikaze Minato. Naruto looked at the old man and then at Minato's body. Akatsuki was also looking at his body. Yellow flash, he whispered and closed his eyes. Yes, he thought. I remember the day I meet you in the Lightning Country's feudal lord's castle. I was impressed how you looked so much like me and more, you fight like no other. You saved me, a completely stranger, and even became a friend of mine. Suddenly, I realize you were the only one I could trust and ask you to look over Frigg. You fell in love with her and you came back to my village just to say me that. You had the courage and the heart to come to my homeland and say to me that you loved my wife. Sure, at the first I became angry, sure it pained, but now I know, you were the best friend I've ever had. No other would do that. No other would call for me in his moment of pain and for his village. Kurogen left the hidden moon, so Nana could be free to love and Skull couldn't threat our village when she saw a night with no moon. And you have left your village, so they could live happily ever after. You have achieved so much and you let it all behind, just to. Akatsuki looked at Sarutobi. Konoha also has a Loki. What? Sandaime asked. Surin closed her eyes. Someone is not crying for his death, how shameful, Akatsuki said. Were you the one who taught Minato Shikifujin? Sarutobi asked. Akatsuki answered positively. Could you teach me it too? The Tsukikage knit his brows. I don't know what's going to happen now or if Kyuubi is going to remain within Naruto for too long, so, I think you understand. Don't worry about your daughter, I'm a quick learner. Okay, Akatsuki said. The funeral was a beautiful and sad ceremony, all drop a flower with a note thanking Minato for his They prayed for him and then saw his name being wrote down in the stone which had all the name of Konoha's heroes. White flags filled the village while Yondaime Hokage's body was taken to his last resting place, near Shodai and Nadaime's graves. They covered the coffin and for the last time, the hero's body saw the light of the world and was buried down in darkness for eternity, filled with flowers and under a wave of claps, thanking him for his action, for his bravery, for saving them. He became a legend. In the Hokage's monument, above the faces of Konoha's leaders, there was a man with ginger hair and ripple-patterned eyes, wearing a man's kimono very pretty and elaborated. At his side was a big white wolf with a golden halo shining on its head. The rain appeared to not wet them. Kurogen's ghost appeared near him and was noticed by the man. Section long time no see, Rikadu-sensei. Section Kurogen smiled. The man looked at him. Since your marriage, wasn't it? Rikadu remembered and then looked again at Konoha. How was the talk with the death god? Kurogen lowered his head. Useless. I think Tsukiyomi and Amaterasu must have planned something. Maybe they're trying to free Skull once and for all. Sure, she is needed in heaven. We, gods, have our powers restrained to the present. As forward, there is no way to know if our actions will have a positive or negative impact, like what had happened with Minato. They made Minato and Frigg meet so he could sleep with Skull, then you would have reborn and free her when you got older. Plus, Susanoo has reincarnated. Maybe they fear what he may do and that's why they wanted you to reborn. Section but it didn't work, and now Minato is doomed to pain in the death god's belly. Section Kurogen remembered. Rikadu smiled. Don't worry, all is not lost. When God closes a door, he He opens a window. Have faith, Rikadu said. Kurogen smiled. Section, we are not a god like you, section. But you are at my level, don't worry. Comma. The days passed by, Akatsuki and Isuki reached the hidden moon. The old Tsukikage looked at him, knowing his daughter was S. Don't worry, I brought Frigg with me. Akatsuki said. And Mirai? She is in the hospital. Her body is very debilitated. The medical team was waiting for Suren. The old man said. Suren puffed. I guess I need to find a student and teach him everything I know. If I suddenly S, you'll all end up S from a single paper C. Suren and Doryokugan entered Mirai's room. The Tsukikage was shocked. His small daughter was tied to dozens of machines and had ligatures on her eyes and fingers. He walked near Mirai and grabbed her weak hand, while Suren started healing her. His lower lip was trembling, waiting for any sign of life coming from his daughter. Mirai, he gently called. It's Daddy. Daddy's here. You're not going to pain anymore. Daddy. Mirai was very frail and had to speak with a tube on her mouth, causing more pain on her father's heart. Is it you? He held her hand tighter. I'm scared, my eyes are close, yet, I see so many things. I'm scared. Daddy. Fear not, I'm here. He caressed her head, making her smile. Suren looked at them and smiled, deciding to leave the two alone. The Tsukikage laid down on the bed and put Mirai over him, embracing her. She held her father's clothes tightly, fearing he could leave her alone again. Does it continue to pain? No, I'm fine, she answered and fell asleep on the strong arms of her downy father. A soft and sweet smell filled the room, waking Akatsuki. He looked at his daughter. Save me, Skuld asked. Akatsuki's eyes opened wide. Please, save me, I can't bear it anymore, please. Save you? Akatsuki asked. If I remain in your daughter's body, her life will be filled of sadness and sorrow, please. I don't want to see it again. Skuld confessed, grabbing the Tsukikage's clothes. The deaths, why? They loved each other so much, why like that? How sad, no one deserves it, please. Akatsuki looked down. Mirai will suffer much more than your wife. His eyes opened wide and his heart started beating faster. Frigg was too young to remember her mother's death and the time she became a Skuld, Mirai wasn't. While Frigg was treated like a princess and kept held from the world, Mirai will see her loved ones perish, her aunt, the man she loves, her children, she will have to leave her own village. Do you want that for your child? Do you want her to pain? Of course not, Akatsuki answered. Mirai is my daughter, I love her. Then save her and the ones who will come after her. Free me, Skuld asked again. Why are you asking me this? Why are you asking me to go and search for some demons? I'm a human, Akatsuki said. You're more than that. Do it and the gods will grant you any wish. Any wish, Skuld spelled. You have wishes, don't you? What's your greatest desire, Minamoto Doryokugan? Can you see it, fulfilled? Akatsuki closed his eyes. This village has nothing more to offer you, or me. Free me, save your daughter from her dark future. Please, do it, I beg you. You can become anything, a hero, a wealthy person or even, a god. Save me, please. Save me, save me. These chains, they hurt me so much, save me. Skuld cried. I can't stand it anymore. My greatest wish, Akatsuki opened his eyes. Yeah, I guess I should give it a try. Mirai healed faster thanks to her aunt's treatment. Doryokugan decided to stay at her side until she mastered Skuld's eyes and until he made up his mind. You're renouncing the Tsukikage's place in order to free Skuld. The old Tsukikage was caught by surprise, such as Suren. Why? The Skulds have pained for too long. Akatsuki looked to the ring on his finger. I'll free Mirai and Skuld and fulfill my dreams. He closed his hand. If you need any help, let me know. I nominate my sister as my successor. Suren's eyes opened wide and she smiled at him. Sorry, but I can't agree with that. The old Algrim said. She sent him an angry look. Why not? My brother chose me. Why can't you agree with that, you ugly old fart? Suren screamed. Her brother looked at the old Tsukikage. You're expecting twins, aren't you? The old man said. She startled. Plus, you have no husband to help you taking care of them. Suren looked down. You are not in condition to assume the role of Tsukikage. I'll retake it. Suren left. Akatsuki watched her and then faced the old man. She always dreamed of being Tsukikage. She has the strength and the capability for being it. Why did you do that? Akatsuki asked. See, she will have to work a lot as a mother and she offered herself to look over Mirai. Plus, she is ill-mannered. He said and left. Akatsuki went to his sister's bedroom, where she was sit on the bed, hiding her sadness and cries. He sat at her side and put his arm around her. I don't need your pity, she said, cleaning her tears. I don't. Don't be like that. You're going to be a mother, you will have wonderful children. Maybe they could become Tsukikage. He said. I hate him, Surin said. You always hated him ever since the beginning. I remember when I was a kid and you picked up photos of him and draw mustaches and beards and... It's not the old man I'm talking about, she said, catching her brother by surprise. It's Jiraiya. He looked down. He lied to me, he said he loved me and that he would never see me as B machine woman, yet, he got me pregnant. I hate him so much. He lied to me and now, thanks to him, I couldn't fulfill my greatest wish. You should have told him you were expecting his children. If he had came with you, maybe you would get the place. Doryokugan said. She cried again. Well, I got to pack my stuff. Next day, Akatsuki was ready to leave. Mirai was looking at him with tears on the corner of her eyes. He kneeled down and hugged her. I'll miss you, she cried. Me too. Be a good girl. Make daddy proud. He cried too and kissed her forehead. Daddy made this for you. He showed a black scroll with red clouds. It contains some cool jutsus. I hope you like them. She hugged the scroll. I'm never going to separate myself from it, Mirai said. Her father looked at her. So, I'll always remember you and I'll always have a part of you with me, Daddy. Mirai hugged her father again. As long as your aunt looks over you, I'll always see you. You will also be inside my heart, always. He said. Daddy will free you. Bye. He made Tsubasa no jutsu and flew away. Mirai said bye, holding the scroll. Bye-bye, Daddy. Mirai waved. Fulfill your wishes. In the Koryu castle, a man dressing a black cloak was looking at a grave. He had a red rose on his hand. Minato S and the Koryu lineage is broken, Phoenix said. But immortality never S. He left the rose fall on the grave. I'm going to become immortal, Kajiru, so, sorry not be meeting you and our Obito in heaven, but life in earth has much to offer. He turned his back to the grave and ride on his phoenix. There is another way to become immortal. And I'll head for it. In Konoha, Naruto was alone in his bedroom, with none to look over him. The baby had a toy on his mouth, while looking to the full moon in the sky. There was a noise on the door, making Naruto looking at it, and Sandaime entered. The baby smiled, making some adorable baby noises. Oh, I'm also happy to see you again, Sandaime said, caressing Naruto's face. So, how are you? Naruto made some noises, laughing. Inside his brain he could understand that person loved him and that made him happy. I have a bad notice for you, your father feared Phoenix could come for you. Sandaime looked down. Naruto continued making noises and laughing for being in the old Hokage's hands. I also fear it, so, from this day forward, you will be named Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto looked at him. Funny name isn't it? Sarutobi tickled Naruto's belly, making him laugh more. Frigg's ghost was in the bedroom, happy for seeing her child smiling. Section my baby, mommy's here. Section she cried. Section I wanted to hug you so much, and you too, Minato. Section Frigg looked up to the moon. Section where are you? I've searched everywhere, but you are nowhere to be found, Minato. Heaven looks like hell without you. Come. See what your villagers are doing with our baby, save him, please. Minato. Section Frigg cried. Sarutobi gave Naruto some baby food and then put him to sleep, his forehead. Sweet dreams, he said and left. In another house within Konoha, Itachi was alone in a bedroom with baby Sasuke. There was a big moon shining in front of him and Amaterasu's face appeared. And so? Itachi asked. She smiled at him. We failed at making Kurogen reborn now, but Akatsuki is trying to free Skuld. Maybe you should go and aid him. Amaterasu said. Itachi smiled. And about Naruto. Sure Phoenix would come for him and the Uchiha clan knows he is Yondaime's legacy. The Uchiha clan would support Phoenix if he tries to put his hands on Naruto and, unfortunately, there are no more Nakamura to look over him. The Uchiha clan is too dangerous, dispose of them as soon as you get the chance. Amaterasu ordered. And Sasuke? Itachi asked. Let him live, he must pay for his sins and live to see what he has done. Amaterasu said, closing her eyes. Minato continues within the death god's belly. Why haven't you avoided that? Itachi asked, remembering Minato's face and how happy he was being Hokage. Kurogen was going to take his place, well, life goes on. Do as I told you, this uncertain future makes me shiver. Bye. Amaterasu's image disappeared with the moon. Itachi looked down. Poor Koryu lineage. The baby is being neglected in the village he saved and his father, doomed to eternal darkness. Itachi closed his eyes. How sad. Within the death god's belly, everything was dark. No sound, no light, no landscape. Just the huge and dark empty. Minato looked everywhere, but the nothing was the only thing he spotted. For how long are you going to try to get out? It's impossible, Kyuubi said, sat down with his legs crossed. Minato looked at him and then at his hand. Around the strings of beads that incarcerated him to Kyuubi, black marks started to appear, making him pain. Section what's this? It pains a lot. Section Minato said. The death god has started eating your soul. Kyuubi said. Minato was caught by surprise. Soon those black marks will spread all over your soul and you will have no strength left and you'll disappear forever. Minato lowered his look. Section, are you planning to sit in there and do nothing? Isn't it going to eat you too? Section Minato asked. Kyuubi closed his eyes. His hand also had the black marks. We will end up like this. Sorry, I'm not in the mood for a fight. Once we are going to stay here for an indeterminate amount of time, let's not argue against each other. Kyuubi said. Minato sat down too. Section, I didn't want to end up like this, alone. Section. Thank you for not consider me company. Kyuubi said. Minato looked at him. Section, I wished I could see Naruto. Section, he smiled. Section, I have no idea how long we have been in here, so I don't know how old my child is, but I'm sure he is fine. Section, Kyuubi looked at him. Minato was crying. Section, my little boy, I wonder. How is he doing? That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.